This episode, we talk about tech tools, the hidden costs of buying a home, and lessons learned from a spokester.
This is the Living Young and Free Show, giving the 25 and under crowd tips, tricks, and hacks to get the most out of your money.
Hi, I'm Cheryl, and welcome to episode 62. First up, we have Jen, who's going to cover some tech tools that you can use for virtual spring cleaning.
Spring cleaning. If you're anything like me, then your life becomes a cluttered, hot mess during the winter. The worst messes, though, come from just not being very organized to begin with, and that can happen in our living space, our workspace, even cyberspace. Sometimes technology can be what really helps us sort it all out. Here are some of my favorite tools that help me stay organized so I can maximize my time. Gonna do some homework. Where's my notebook? Evernote is an app that lets you take notes online and categorize everything into separate notebooks, but that are all in one place. You can even add to and change your notes in Evernote by using your tablet or smartphone. Hello? I do have that USB drive with all of those gigantic images on it. Dropbox is a great tool to share bigger files like photos so that you don't have to deal with something physical like a USB drive or email every single one in small batches. Okay, so I will email you what I have, and then you can add in all of your stuff and make any changes, and then after that, email it back to me. I'll add in the rest of my info. Google Docs is basically like the Microsoft Office suite, but online. You can create, share, and even collaborate on documents in real time, and then if you still need to, you can download them into a Word doc format, Excel spreadsheet, PDF, whatever you need. All you need to get started is a Gmail account. Last, Shoeboxed is an app that lets you take pictures of all of your receipts and then store them online so that you don't literally have to store them all in a shoebox in your house somewhere or carry them around with you as you're keeping track of your expenditures all month long. These are some great apps that have helped me out a ton. What are some of yours? Back to you, Cheryl.
Thanks, Jen. I like the sound of that Shoeboxed app, although then I wouldn't be able to justify buying shoes in order to get a shoebox. Next up, we have Lee, who's going to reveal the hidden costs of buying a home that you should be aware of.
Finding and buying a house is hard work. It takes what seems like forever, and it's probably the most permanent purchase you'll ever make. So, it needs to be approached carefully, patiently, and of course, with some young and free tips in mind. And believe me, I would know. I'm actually sitting in the house that me and my wife bought last year. Now, buying a house doesn't look the same for everybody. My wife Julie and I actually started looking for a house before we even tied the knot. We did tons of research online, looking for just about every single home for sale in our area. We carefully looked over our finances and decided what we could afford, and more importantly, what we couldn't afford. Once we knew our price range, we decided to only buy a house if we knew that we could afford it a significant margin below the maximum amount of money we could pay. In our search for a house and working with a few different real estate agents, we actually came across a builder that hadn't finished a home yet. We had never dreamed of actually buying a brand new home, but what we were looking at was that margin below our maximum price range. So we developed a relationship with the builders and decided to go for it. I can honestly say it's been a great decision and we love living here. Now, me and my wife definitely lucked out on this purchase, but no matter what type of house you can afford, there are just a few key things to remember whenever deciding to purchase your first home. And today I'm getting a few tips from the blog at thousandair.com. Now, the first thing you want to do after sitting down looking at your personal finances is utilize a mortgage calculator. You can go online and find dozens of these, and they'll help you get very close to the amount of money you're going to have to pay every month for your home. This is a really good practice to help you narrow down how much money you'll be spending every month. But mortgage calculators don't tell you everything. There's a whole lot more that goes into paying for your house than just your mortgage payment. I can tell you from experience, houses come with a whole lot of separate expenses, including insurance, your monthly utility bill, and even in a newer home, things break. It just happens. So paying for the cost of repairs inside of your home is inevitable. ThousandAir.com also asks some really interesting questions, like how much interest are you going to pay on your mortgage? Now, I'm not just talking about your monthly interest rate and percentage, I'm talking about the overall interest that you're going to be paying over time. So let's say you're looking at a $150,000 mortgage over 30 years with a 4% interest rate. Now, a mortgage calculator will tell you you're paying $716.12 a month, which is not a bad house payment. However, it fails to mention that over 30 years, you'll end up paying $108,000 in interest. That type of information will make you rethink taking a 30-year loan if you don't have to. It's important to remember to use all of these personal finance resources wisely. Make sure and talk to every homeowner you know about their experience. As many people as you can have around you that you trust, including a good real estate agent and a good financial consultant, have them around to help coach you through this difficult decision. Well, it's been nice talking to you, but now I've got to go cut my grass. One of the perks of owning a home. Back to you, Cheryl.
Thanks, Lee. And to close our show, we have Seth with his last segment for the Living Young and Free show.
Thanks, Cheryl. Seth of Maine for Young and Free Maine. Well, it's finally here. It's my last video for the Living Young and Free show. Pretty crazy when you think about it. 11 months have already come and gone. I put on about 15 pounds since doing that, and also reached thousands and thousands of 18 to 25-year-olds here in Maine about the wonders of credit unions. I decided to take a look back at some of my most favorite things about Young and Free and what I've also learned. Now, I was going to show you initially everything that I had done and show you lots of awesome clips, but due to some unforeseen consequences, it actually leads me to my first point. You see this right here? This right here is my old laptop. Unfortunately, it doesn't work anymore because someone poured some hot coffee all through the keyboard and ruined the logic board. Be ready for things when life throws you curveballs. You never know when it's going to happen or how much it's going to cost, but you need to be prepared and ready to adapt to certain situations. Still smells like a hot cup of java. One of my most favorite quotes of all time is, people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. And I can tell you right now from personal experience, that is very much the philosophy of credit unions, not only here in Maine, but nationwide. Let me tell you something, my credit union knows me by name. Even before I did Young and Free, they knew me by name, and they're very helpful whenever I call, email, or go into their lobby to ask questions. I mean, obviously, credit unions have the best swag. It's a chip clip with my name on it, or this thing. Wait a second, that's my iron. I've learned that credit unions can go with you wherever you do, using mobile apps, shared branching, and online banking. Most importantly, I think the best thing that I learned while at Young and Free is probably how to be smart with my money and avoiding impulse buying. Now, I've always felt like I've been pretty good with my money, but I always have that tendency for the occasional impulse buy. And your tickets are on sale. Yes, I have a firmer grasp on that throughout this past year. Well, that's it. I'd say that's all for now, but that's all, period. For Young and Free Maine, I'm Seth of Maine. We'll see you later, Cheryl.
Thanks, Seth. My only regret is that you did not do the Bob Ross impression that you promised me. And that's our show. If you have any feedback or ideas for upcoming episodes, feel free to comment below or email me at livingyoungandfree@gmail.com. And be sure to join us next time for more great tips, tricks, and hacks on how to make the most of your money.
Young and Free is a credit union movement that gives young people a voice, a head start, and useful information.